Today we're going to be talking about Castlevania Lords of Shadow for the PC, believe it or not. This is the Ultimate Edition. But the question is it truly the Ultimate Edition? And I'm going to answer that question right now. Hell yes it is. It costs only $30 from Steam, and what you get is, well, a lot. You get the main game, you get 2 DLC packs that add a couple hours to the overall experience. Plus, the game has been completely remastered. So now it runs at 60 frames per second, the textures are crisper, and just overall it looks a lot nicer than it ever did on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Now, that's pretty much all you need to know if you know about the game itself. If you don't, well then, stick around. Story I found was just as good as the first time I went through it 3 years ago. It's all about, Gabriel trying to go and find out what's going on with the world while dealing with his dead wife and trying to stop evil, yada yada yada. But it's entertaining, and I love the ending, and sets the tone for next year's Lords of Shadow 2, which I actually am very excited about now that I just replayed this game. Also, gameplay-wise, while it's linear, there's quite a few branching paths that reward players who go back later on when Gabriel has new skills. So basically there is some exploration, and it features the God of War-like overall gameplay. So in other words, there's combos that you can use, you get experience which you can then use to unlock new combos. There's a light and dark magic system whereby you can either heal yourself or you can use more powerful attacks against enemies. It just allows you to diversify the overall gameplay and how you play the game, which I really like. Those awesome boss fights are still here. They're heavily inspired by Shadow of the Colossus, and they're just awesome. And they actually work very much the same, where you have to climb on top of the giant beasts in order to destroy these like runes, things like that. And while I mentioned the fact that the graphics look absolutely stunning, I should also mention the fact that the load times have been dramatically improved over the console versions, from what I remember. That I might be thinking of another game, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. The orchestrated soundtrack and superb voice acting all return. Sounds just as good as it did on the console versions, if not better, just because I have, well, a great audio setup for my PC. Now, things that didn't work so hot last time around really haven't been fixed because, well, there's not much they could do. They're part of the game. And those include things like the fixed camera angles. They work great for puzzles and platforming sections, but when Gabriel gets to an area that's a little more open and there's a lot more enemies, sometimes the enemies will be just beyond the reach of the camera's view. So you'll get attacked and you didn't even know there were enemies there. And as with all God of War inspired action games, what can end up happening is you'll learn a certain amount of combos, or you'll unlock a certain amount of combos that you enjoy using, and you're just going to repeatedly use those over and over and over and over again. And what ends up happening is, over time, it does become quite repetitive. And I also find there's a little bit too much use of the QTE, the QuickTime events in this game. Almost every single thing you do ends with a QuickTime event, and that is like, okay, we've seen this before. Now, specifically for the PC version, I should mention that the controls are very awkward and cumbersome if you're going to use the mouse and keyboard. I highly recommend picking up the Xbox 360 controller for Windows or for PC or whatever, because, this was a console game, and so you should use a controller for it. And the last thing I want to mention is the fact that the cutscenes in the game were not enhanced or altered in any way, shape, or form, so those look like they did on the console. That's not to say that they're ugly or anything, it's just that the visual clarity that you get with the PC version is just so much better, and it can be quite jarring when you go back and see those cutscenes. So, overall, should you pick this game up? I say hell yes you should. If you have a strong enough computer to run this game and you have never played this Castlevania game before, by all means pick it up right now. For everyone else, who has already played the game, I say just wait for a Steam sale and then pick it up, because this is one you guys really don't want to miss. For the full written review, hit up projectcoe.com. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself.